Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 3. I'm your host, Richard Sage, aka Fu. Yes, Richard Sage is an online name that I use. You can call me Rich, you can call me Fu, whatever. The message is still coming to you. So, today's topic is motivation. Motivation. And if you saw the title of this podcast, it is the 5-minute rule for unlimited motivation. So, before we dive into that, I want to give a couple of shout outs, guys. We've had nearly 100 total downloads across all the podcast platforms. Thank you for the support. Thank you for leaving positive reviews on the Spotify, Apple, everywhere that you listen, YouTube. It makes a huge difference. The more support I can receive from you guys, just with a couple clicks, the more this podcast will reach people. And hopefully the message that I share and the people that I bring onto the podcast will also add incredible value over time for the next few years to come. So thank you so much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave a positive rating if you can. And that would help me tremendously. All right, so today's topic is motivation. And there's a couple of definitions on the internet that I'm looking at right now, but here's a definition for you. So what is the definition of motivation? A reason or reasons for acting or behaving in a particular way. Now, if we think about it in our just everyday lives, motivation is this feeling. It's an emotion. It's something that we feel. And for a lot of us, if we don't have this feeling, we will not often go ahead with the goals that we have. Like, oh, you know what? Today, I don't feel like going to the gym. I'm not motivated. You know what? I don't feel like streaming today. I'm not motivated. You know what? I'm going to slack at work today. I'm not motivated. Now, to be fair, sometimes work can be a bit boring. I totally get it. Not every day is like a Wolf of Wall Street moment and you pick up the phone and start dialing. No, sometimes work can be a bit boring. I get that. But for the everyday person, a lot of us, motivation isn't necessarily an easy thing. Sometimes things happen in life. Sometimes we're very stressed about a particular thing. Maybe you had an argument with a family member. Maybe you're arguing with your partner. Maybe you didn't get enough sleep. There's so many factors that can interrupt us. And if we feel like we don't have this energy or this motivation, we feel like we can't get things done. So what I'm going to suggest to you today, and I want to invite you to a method that I've been implementing since I was a teenager. And I implemented this method so I could get through my homework. Now, if you remember the days of high school, now if you're in high school and you're listening to this, I hope this helps you. Now, if you're an adult or, you're in a much older age and you're living your life and you've probably got your own systems, I want to invite you to think about how did we overcome procrastination? Because procrastination is a big issue for a lot of us when it comes to achieving our goals. We almost like wait to the last minute to get things done. Like, we know we need to do this thing, like make that phone call, make that appointment, do that booking, fill out our taxes, complete our homework assignment. We have this group project that we need to do. And we feel this immense pressure on the inside. And I know for me personally, like many years ago, especially when I was a lot younger, and sometimes I still do this, but I try my best to avoid it, is we allow that pressure to build to the point where it becomes so much that we start taking action and you have motivation. So, what I want to suggest today is something I call the 5-minute method, the 5-minute motivation method. And the way it works is this. I argue, in my opinion, that you, the listener, myself, and everyone on the planet, we do not have an issue with motivation. Sounds crazy, right? You're like, what? But I'm not motivated right now. How about this though? Let's reframe that. Let's change the paradigm here. I don't believe we have an issue with motivation, and I'm not even going to say it's discipline. In my opinion, and after years and years of identifying this within myself and many people I've seen anecdotally, now there might be studies on this too. If you want to, go ahead and send me some science studies, I would love to see it. And it might be true. I believe that the majority of us don't have a problem with motivation. We have a problem with momentum. Because think about it. How often have you started something and then once you started, it was easy? Right? Like I can remember so many times I didn't want to do my math homework. I didn't want to do my physics homework. I didn't want to do my biology homework. I didn't want to do my English homework in year 11, year 12 of high school. I'm like, oh, do I really want to do this? But something happened. I was listening to a speaker. I believe his name is Matthew Hussey. And I don't want to take credit for his idea, but this is my own version of it. He had a video called, I think it was called the 5-minute method or something. Now, this is my own version of it. So full credits to Matthew Hussey. He said, guys, what would happen if you just did 5 minutes? Whatever your goal is, going to the gym, doing your homework, getting outside, going for a walk, whatever it is, right? If you can get through the first 5 minutes, you will most likely finish the rest, plus more. Now, For a lot of us, we'll be thinking 5 minutes, psh, I'm better than that. That's beneath me. But the truth is, 5 minutes is better than 0 minutes. Like if you just think of the idea of I'm going to the gym for 5 minutes, you're thinking that's not worth my time. But here's the truth though. If you went to the gym for 5 minutes, you still went to the gym. It may not sound like a lot, but you got your foot in the door. So here's the method, and here's how you can apply it. This is how I apply it. Whatever I am procrastinating, whatever goal that I am lacking motivation in, I know that my issue is not motivation, it's momentum. If I can generate the momentum, I can do the rest. So, a couple of examples. Reading a book. How many times have you read like 2 words and you're like, I can't do this? Or maybe like, you're filling out your tax forms, or, you're doing like homework in school, whatever it is. Or you're like, I don't want to go to the gym today. I'd rather just lay in bed and watch Netflix. But what happens once you got started? It was easy, right? So like I said, I don't believe motivation is the primary issue for a lot of us. We just need a little bit of momentum. So give it a try. The next time you are having issues with getting something started, if you know on a logical level that if I can just get through the first 5 minutes, I can get through the rest. I believe 99% of the time. Now, I could be wrong. I believe 99% of the time, once you have momentum, you can keep going. It's a lot easier to keep walking when you're already walking. It's a lot harder to walk when you're still in bed and you're thinking about walking, just as an example, right? Now, I've used this principle, especially when I'm not motivated, especially when I feel completely deflated, defeated. Especially like my career as a full-time streamer, and now I'm no longer a full-time streamer. We'll talk about that next time. Many times I didn't feel motivated to stream. I'm like, I don't want to go live today. I'm not feeling it. I'm not motivated today. I'll stream tomorrow. You know what happens when you stream tomorrow? You don't stream the day after either. So you know what I would tell myself? I'm going live for 5 minutes, as ridiculous as that sounds, because my ego is like, I could stream for 8 hours. But here's the problem. If we let our egos get in the way, it's going to be so hard to achieve the goals we want. A lot of the time, we will hold on to these ideals, these identities, these images that we have in our mind. But if our actions are not aligning with our goals, we won't get to the dreams that we have. Now, you might have good days and bad days. Now, imagine you lived your life based on motivation, on natural motivation, where you wake up and you're inspired, you're feeling, today I'm going to write a new song. Today I'm going to read a book. But then what about the days where you're not motivated? Are you just going to leave those days as empty days? No, we need a system and strategy in place to put us in the right position to take that action. So that's where it is. I learned this from Matthew Hussey, and I've been applying this ever since I was in high school. It's allowed me to get through really big blocks of homework. It allowed me to finish high school. It allowed me to finish my bachelor's degree, my master's degree. It helped me get through job applications. It helped me become a Twitch partner. It helped me build a successful career as a streamer. It's helped me do these podcasts. It's helped me, formulate and create new things in my life. So give it a try. I invite you to give it a try. It's called the 5-minute rule. Commit yourself to a task for at least 5 minutes. And here's the thing. Let's say you do the 5 minutes and you don't want to keep going. Just stop. That's okay as well, because you still did 5 minutes. It's like a muscle. The more you train it, the more you use it, the more familiar it will become. Now, this will become a habit for you over time. And, we talked about habits in previous episodes. Habits are the key. And this is a habit I would really invite you to consider, which is in those moments where you're not feeling it and you need to take action, you need the discipline, you need to just do it even if you don't feel like it. You also need a strategy to do that. You need a logical reason to do that. It's one thing to be, I'm going to be like David Goggins and just grind my way through. But sometimes you need to give your mind a reason to do it. And in my opinion, the 5-minute rule works. It may not work for everybody. It certainly worked for me, and I hope it can help you. So we're going to continue this conversation into the next part. So that's the strategy. That's the methodology. Now I want to give you the ideology and the principles. So here's the thing. In my opinion, I believe motivation oscillates. That means you will move upwards and downwards in frequency of motivation in terms of how you feel. So let's break it down. I'll give you 3 levels. We'll break it down to like 3 main levels. There's definitely more, there's definitely less. But for today's podcast episode, I want to focus on this. So we can think of motivation broken down into 3 levels. Level 1, which I would call surface level motivation, is kind of like Now, if we use like more like superficial, petty examples, it could be something like you're at the gym and you see someone with an incredible body. You're like, damn, I wish I was that shredded. I wish I had glutes like that. Or you see a big stream, you're like, wow, I wish I had numbers like that. I need to grind. Some days you will wake up and that's the frequency you're operating from. Because every day we don't operate from the same energy. Some days we wake up very high aspiration, like I want to change the world. I want to make a positive impact. I want to, feed the homeless. Like something very high aspiration beyond you, above you. Then there are days you'll wake up and you're like, I just want to get through the day, right? So the first level is surface level. The second level is what I call maintenance level. And the third level is what I call higher purpose or aspiration. Aspiration is inspiration. So here's how it works. When you wake up on a particular day, take 5 to 10 minutes to just reflect on how you're feeling at that moment. Now, sometimes you might need a coffee. Sometimes you might drink tea. Everyone has a different morning routine, right? Sometimes you need to go take a shower. But after you've gone through what your routine is, one thing this is how I do it. In the first hour of my day, I can pay attention to how I'm thinking and feeling. And I need to know what frequency I'm operating at on that given day. So if I'm operating from a very superficial level, for example, or a very surface level, and I'm like, you know what? I need to get abs. I need to make money. Need to buy a house. And there's nothing wrong with all this stuff. I'm just saying this is just the frequency I'm operating at, right? I'm like, I'm like, you know what? That guy beat me at pool last night. I'm going to show him. I'm going to prove him wrong. Like, not that I actually think that way. I'm just giving you examples. If you're operating from that frequency, go with it. Don't try to reach that day-to-day mindset. Don't try to reach that higher aspiration mindset on that given day. Because what's going to happen, and this will tie back to the 5-minute rule, is if you just roll with the energy, you will naturally move up in frequency. You will start superficial and you'll move towards maintenance and eventually higher purpose. So if you're on a very, surface level day, roll with it. Now, some days you're going to wake up and you're going to feel very, I'm just going to go through the motions. This is what I call maintenance level motivation. You're going to wake up and like, you know what? I'm just going to go to work. I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to catch up with my buddies. And that's it. Roll with it. Right? It all comes down to self-awareness. If you know what frequency you're running at, you can stay motivated because you're being congruent to the energy you naturally have. We want to harness that natural energy. But the problem is a lot of us try to harness an energy that we don't have that particular day. Now, this is what I would call the best level of motivation, the higher aspiration, the higher purpose. Now, I apologize if my English is bad. Now, some days you might wake up and be like, you know what? I want to change the world. You know what? I really want to make an impact on my community. You know what? I want to be a better father. I want to be a better mother. I want to be a better friend. I want to be a better partner. Whatever it is, whatever your highest purpose is, some days you will wake up and it will be there with you. Use it. Go with it. Start taking action on all those things that you want to take action on. Now, we can combine these two methods together. So, originally, we talked about the 5-minute rule. Use that method when you're not feeling it. Now, the second thing is look at what your energy is day to day. Some days you will feel very surface level. Some days you'll feel very maintenance level. And then some days you will feel very high purpose. Now, the third thing I'll leave with you today is one of the greatest ways to cultivate your motivation as a skill, not just as a fleeting emotion, is to surround yourself with motivated people. I know it sounds so basic, but there's a saying that you are the sum of the 5 people most closest to you. I don't know who originated that concept, but it's so true for many of us. Like, here's the thing. You hang around 5 motivated people, you will be motivated person number 6. So it's not hard to be around people of motivation. I'm not saying don't hang around people with no motivation. I'm not saying you should cut out all people who don't fit your circle of motivation, grind only. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you probably have friends in your life that are very driven. And you want to surround yourself with them. And it doesn't even have to be in person. Sometimes you just hit them up on Facebook Messenger. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. And they send you that energy back, Or maybe you can also use content. So this is the fourth suggestion I'm going to give you. Now, there's a lot today, and we won't go too long, but I want to make today's nice and, impactful, and I'll give you a lot of tools to work with so you can go about your day and take on the world. So one of the tools that I use is motivational videos. I like to watch inspiring content. Many times during the day or in the morning, I'll put on like a very positive video and I'll watch it. It could be like a celebrity talking about a particular topic. In other words, I want to elevate my state, right? State is a term, I'm pretty sure Tony Robbins talks about it a lot, but if you can elevate your emotions, elevate your state early in the day, that could be done through exercise, which a lot of people do. I highly suggest that. It could be with just listening to a song that you enjoy. Just get yourself going, get yourself pumped up, because that will give you the energy to take on the day. So I'll leave you with this. Understand that motivation is fleeting. Motivation is an emotion. It's not always reliable. Ideally, you want to cultivate discipline, but discipline is a skill that's cultivated over weeks, months, and years. You're not necessarily going to wake up disciplined one day. So we need tools around motivation to succeed. Now, I was given a suggestion by one of my listeners, Chef Bear. If you're listening to this, thank you for tuning into the show and giving me some feedback. Chef Bear suggested that I provide like a summary at the end of the episode. So here's a quick summary for you guys. So, number one, like I said earlier, I believe that most of us don't have issues with motivation. We think we do, but really it's momentum. If you can generate momentum, you will most likely continue with the task and most likely finish it, and you'll be done with it. The second thing is the tool of the 5-minute rule. If you are procrastinating a task, you're procrastinating something that you've been putting off, just tell yourself, I'm going to do 5 minutes of it. 5 minutes. And hopefully 99% of the time, you will end up finishing that task and that weight will be lifted off your shoulders. Okay, you can do it for things like homework, going to the gym, finishing a project, filling out your taxes, making that phone call you need to do it. Just commit to 5 minutes because you need to cultivate the habit of generating momentum. Now, the second thing is we talked about oscillating motivation. That motivation can oscillate on different frequencies. Some days you will feel very surface level, like, you know what, I need 6-pack abs. I'm going to find the love of my life. I'm going to prove that guy wrong, whatever it is, okay? And you want to go with the motivation that you feel that day. And then every day you will feel different. Some days you will feel very just, I'm going to go about my day, which I call maintenance level motivation. You will just say, you know what, I'm just going to go through the motions and you will roll with it. And then some days you'll wake up and you will feel like a higher purpose. Like, I want to change the world. I want to save people's lives. I want to make an impact on my community. I want to be a better friend. Okay. So 5-minute rule and oscillating motivation. Now, the third thing is surrounding yourself with motivated people. It doesn't even have to be online, in person. It could be in person. It can also be online. You can also look to role models. This is something I want to add to that. You can watch TED Talks. You can watch motivational speeches. You can watch content to inspire yourself and generate motivation so you can elevate what I call state, or Tony Robbins calls state. So that's going to be the episode, guys. Today, I wanted to make it very practical. In the future, I'm looking to bring on guests. So I do have 2 people in mind I want to interview. These podcasts will be available on YouTube and pretty much every podcast platform. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. Please leave a comment on YouTube. Please leave a positive rating if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, that's okay. I appreciate you listening all the way. And I'm looking to upload more episodes every week. We're going to cover different topics. And I want to say thank you all for allowing me to do this. This is a dream I've had ever since I was in my early adult days. I thought about doing something like this for most of my life. And I feel like I'm living my life's purpose right now. It's in the early stages. It's just beginning. We're about to make it happen. Also, one next announcement. I do have a Patreon. I don't have the content yet, but if you do want to support the podcast in the future, I will be uploading exclusive content to Patreon. So Patreon is a website where people can subscribe, donate, and support a particular cause. For me, it's going to be this podcast so I can buy equipment, so I can hire a studio, hire a producer to help me make these episodes in the future to make it high level content for you. And it's going to be patreon.com/Richard Sage. So patreon.com, so patreon.com/Richard Sage. And I just launched it the other day. So we're going to be filling the content there soon. There'll be behind the scenes content. You will also have access to all my original vlogs, episodes that I recorded as my life as a speedrunner from 2017 till earlier this year. It has all the episodes. It'll be on the Patreon. So thank you for listening, guys. I'll see you next week. Thank you for joining on today's episode. I had a phenomenal time speaking with you. I hope you have a phenomenal day, a phenomenal week, whatever part of the world you're in. And I'll leave you with one more thing. I don't even have this on my notes. This just came to me out of pure inspiration because I'm operating on that higher purpose. I believe in you. I do. Now, you may not know me. I may not know you, but I believe in you. How's that possible? Because I have faith that all of us, we're born with a gift. All of us are born to do something in this world. I don't know what your gift is necessarily, but I believe in you, and I believe that you can do it. It just takes one step at a time. You might be scared right now. You might be going through the worst time of your life. But understand this. Sometimes you just need to take that positive step. Now, another disclaimer, if you're going through something very serious, you're going through a crisis, I highly recommend seeking professional help. That's what I did. I got therapy more than once in my life, and it saved my life. So, if you need professional help, go and seek it. You're going through depression, anxiety, disorders, getting help is the best thing you can do, and I hope you can do that. So, thank you for listening. I appreciate you all so very much. I believe in you. We're all going to make it. It just takes one day at a time. Thank you for listening, everyone. I'll see you next time for episode 4 next week. If you're listening to this like much later on, we probably have many episodes in the future with many guests onto the show. And I just want to say thank you for being here. Take care. Peace out. Look after yourselves and have a good day. Thank you.